You
All
ready?
right. Yeah, whenever
All
you
right.
are.
Jordan Spadafora. I was born and raised here in Pittsburgh, grew up in Sheridan, right in the heart of the city. And I'm an entrepreneur. I went to Duquesne University and I now run a real estate business and a family concrete company, Spadafora Custom Concrete. So, growing up, we are an Italian family. My dad's always been super hardworking. All of his family, was in the concrete business. His uncle started it when he was like 12 years old. He started working, and he originally was a brick mason, and then realized that really wasn't for him. So he got into concrete, and next thing you know, he's running crews for his uncle, and we have a family business all of a sudden. And I'm in, fifth grade, sixth grade, going out in the summers and being a laborer. And then that turned to just me falling in love with the craft. It's uh, it's an artistic trade that I don't think a lot of people give it credit for. And plus, it's like a combat sport. I mean, I don't think there's anything more vicious than when it's 90 degrees. You're pouring concrete. It's setting up extremely fast, and you're fighting for your life to like make sure this job is perfect, making sure everything is crisp, and making sure the customer is happy. And something about when the clock starts and it starts, ticking down. I love the thrill of that, which kind of goes into my whole personality as a whole.
So, did you always know that you would get into the concrete business growing up?
Um, it was unpopular opinion. I was supposed to go to college, after high school, and they forced me to go to college because originally I was just going to go straight into the family business. So I went to college. I actually got an office job, and then 2 weeks into that job, I got my first paycheck, and it was like $800 for 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, wow, I can't do this. I called immediately, quit the very like next day. It sounds bad. And I was like, Father, I'm coming to work for the family business. And next thing you know, that blossomed into a, what is now a 10-year run. So I would say always sort of destined, but I always wanted to do more. And that was my agreement with my family. If I was going to be in the family business, it was very important for me to create a new, I'd say, image of generational wealth for us in our last name. Growing up, it wasn't always the easiest. I didn't have a hard life, but we went through a phase when I was young of getting food from the church and us not having a lot of money. My mom was raising us by herself, and just watching the struggle, watching her cry, um, and always just doing her best to make sure we were okay. It just tattooed in my brain that something has to change. I have to become somebody, and just made me hungry.
It seems like you had to become the man of the house at a young age.
Yeah, I would say for sure. My brothers look up to me. I'm always making sure that they're okay, doing the right thing. Family is the most important thing to me, making sure that everyone that I love and care about is taken care of. I have a very big protective side when it comes to anyone that I love, honestly. Every time you get tired or think you've had enough, just think about what have I gone through? What have I seen? I don't ever want to be in the situations that I witnessed, growing up. Like I said, it wasn't always hard, but there was a period of time that any kid my age would carry with them for the rest of their lives. Like I said, my mom was taking care of us growing up. So, single mom, didn't have a great job, didn't graduate college, but worked her ass off. So she would work during the day for my grandpa at a steel company. And then at night, she would go in and work the night shift to run the water jet machines. And that was just to make a couple extra bucks to make sure that we could have Christmas gifts and, be able to eat decent meals. But like I said, going through the time period of when you're getting stuff donated to you and you're not able to buy the newest, best items, it hits you a little harder, and you start to appreciate the finer things in life, which I always enjoyed. And that makes me go the extra mile every time.
So it seems like you found success at a pretty young age.
I would say, no, actually, to be honest with you, I gotta be honest.
Okay, keep
I
it
was
real.
like small, 5 foot, skinny guy. 5 foot, maybe 60 pounds, if you remember from like when I
I
was growing
remember.
up. It's a whole transformation. Anybody that knows me now does not recognize me from high school and grade school. So I wasn't the most popular. I was always like, oh, look at that cute kid. And that killed me inside. I hated it. And it would always just tell me when I am grown, when I get out of this little phase that occurs, and hopefully I do. Luckily, I am now 6 foot. My junior to senior year of college, I like went from being 5 foot to 5'5" to somehow hitting another 6 inches, hitting my 6 foot mark that I was like praying for the last 5 years of my grade school, high school life. And it just gave me a new sense of confidence. I've always had confidence inside me, just through making it through what I've been through with my life. But to have the identity and the stature to carry that through, I think authority and how you look gives yourself a big presence in a room. And if you're small and you're scrawny, people don't take you serious. So I was ready to be somebody. And once I was able to develop, it kind of put me in a rapid progression of who I always knew I was going to be.
So it seems like you have a pretty well-rounded approach to your lifestyle. You take care of yourself. What does that
Yes.
look like for you?
So right now, it's up in the air because I've always been really big into fitness. My mom's a personal trainer. My brothers are college basketball players. My dad was a boxer. My uncle was a world champion boxer, as people know. But my dad was like in the Olympics. He made the Olympic team for boxing. So the whole family's athletic. My mom got a full, I'm sorry to keep rambling about that, but my mom got a full ride to Texas for Latin and softball. So it's always been something that we all partake in. We love sports. We love spending time together playing sports and being active. And if you're not physically fit and you don't care about yourself enough to, I don't know, stay and want to be physically fit, I think it tells a lot about your character. So if I'm going into, a business meeting or a presentation and I'm sloppy, no one's going to look at you the same way as if you're stout and strong looking with a defined, I don't know, jawline, etc. Blah blah blah. But so that's always been a big part of my life. But like I said, it's up in the air right now because I've had intestinal issues my whole life. That was a big thing that not a lot of people know. I had jejunal atresia when I was born. So they cut out half of my small intestine, reconnected it. I was in like the hospital for 4 to 6 months, and it's just started causing problems when I was a freshman in college. So ever since then, I've been getting iron infusions like monthly, bi-monthly, and this past year has probably been my hardest year, where I've faced extraordinary pain that like I never want to go through again. But I have surgery coming up. So hopefully when I get the surgery, they remove the part that is causing all my issues and blood loss, etc., that I can finally live a normal, healthy life. Because if I'm healthy, nothing stops me.
Has your health been getting in the way of business this year?
Yes, this year has been my worst year so far of like, I would say my last 10, because it's just been detrimental. It's like I take 3 steps forward and then the pain will put me out literally doubled over, unable to work for, it could be a week, it could be 2, 3, a month, and I never know. So this whole past year I've been afraid to eat, afraid to work out because I don't want to overwork my body and use all the blood that I am getting transfused into me. So yeah, it's been a struggle.
How are you dealing with that?
For a good bit of this start of the year, I kind of let it take over and I start falling behind. I start becoming somebody that I wasn't. Because right before this year started, I was on a great trajectory. I was happy as hell, just becoming really into fitness again, starting to pick up in business with both concrete and then moved more towards real estate. And I just kept seeing these wins stack. And then all of a sudden it just hit me like a brick, and I couldn't work. I couldn't stay focused. I was always tired. Like my doctors are trying to figure it out and they couldn't. So we finally have a solution. So what's in the past is in the past. But the pain that I felt, definitely something I'll never forget, never take life for granted, and can pretty much take me through any challenge that I have ahead, because that was the worst.
So it seems like you have a strong set of values. Are you pretty strict with who and what you allow in your life?
100%. That has molded me completely. I've always been big in family, because family is everything, especially an Italian family. You're taught to take care of everyone that you love, and you're taught to protect your mother, look over your brothers, make sure that everybody's okay. And like I said, being the man in the house for my younger years, that took a stronghold of me. But I would just say work ethic, love and laugh, and really value the small times that we have in life, and then just always push. Like, there's no being a bitch in my family. My mom is a psycho. Like, you're not bitching out and saying, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm in too much pain. I can't, go to practice today. It's like, no, go get it done. Like, that's just how we were raised. And starting from me to, my youngest brother, it's all been the same. And it's all worked out, because all of us have been very successful so far. I'm definitely proud of that. I keep my circle extremely small. If you don't add value to my life at this point, then there's no room for it, because that negativity just keeps pushing you further and further and further back. And when you have your mind set on becoming somebody, and I have this big vision that I will execute, I can't have room for people doubting me or putting me down. I love opinions. I love negativity. It just makes me excited. I'll welcome haters, but I will keep my friends and that tight group of people that I'm associated with very small.
What's your vision for your life?
I want to own, the most possible real estate in the Pittsburgh area. I want to become a very well-known general contractor, and I don't want to have to look at any bill or take a trip, go out to dinner, and ever have to look at, the check, or how am I paying for this? How am I doing this? And it's not because I'm greedy, it's just because everything I've been through and seen causes a lot of pain. And money isn't a bad thing, it's just how do you use it and how do you value it?
Seems like you want freedom.
I just want financial freedom. My end goal is, to be a consultant for other investors, young entrepreneurs, etc. And then my biggest aspiration, once I become everything that I need to become first, would be to be a motivational speaker, kind of like a life coach. That's like a deep-rooted plan that I have in my head. But right now, let's get to the first 100 properties and see how I feel about the game and about the investments and how far I've come, and then take it from there. Day by day.
How many properties do you have right now?
I'm about to close August 30th on my 14th and 15th. So that's my biggest deal yet, which would be a 6-unit apartment building, which is exciting. Fully gutted to the studs, but now that we have employees and we've grown immensely over the last 2 years of business work, that's a whole nother topic that we can discuss. But I'm well prepared and equipped to take on that feat.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. The growth of my business is a really big aspect for me. When I decided to go concrete, I was like, this isn't just gonna be concrete for me. I have to do something more. I have to make a life that nobody sees coming and that my family's proud of. 4 years ago, I started buying real estate, and then my partner, Nick, called me one day and he was like, hey, let's think about buying a property together. We talked a lot about it. Then we went into that scam of Airbnb. So we paid 10 grand for a course that taught us how to do the Airbnb model, and all it did was make us spend money and made us fight to want to get that return back. So we went from arbitraging our first property to then starting to buy a deal, because why not cut out the middleman? And so we bought, and then after our first project, it was like a big mess up. The guy was a mess. He was like facing lawsuits. It It was horrible.
Aw.
So I saw the workers there, and I was like, "You guys need a job? Like, why haven't you been showing up? They haven't been paid in a while." So I then was like, "Come work for us." Next thing you know, we're buying houses and having those two renovate them. Fast forward a year, now we have done like 7 projects, full gut remodels, and no task is too big.
Wow.
A lot of growth. It's been amazing to see. That was the first time in my life I think I've actually watched something go from nothing to like, wow. You look back and you just are attacking every day. And it feels like chaos in your mind, and it's stressful as hell. And then you take a breath and you evaluate and you're like, holy shit, it's worth it so far. I'm gonna be fighting the same battle for the next 10 years probably. But, every 2 to 3 years you step back and you're like, okay.
Take a breath for a second,
Yeah.
then get back to it.
I'm like, wow, look how far we've come.
Yeah. So what have you learned about yourself through the process of all of this?
Growing up, like I said, I was always a little hesitant, scared, not confident. And I just get older and older. And I start to look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, I can do this. Nothing, no task is too hard. I've been through it all. Whether it's, watching drug addiction or watching family mess up and it's publicized or watching businesses fail. I've seen all the stages of failure, and I've learned that as long as you show up every day and you just fight and you stay focused and you have one goal in mind and you don't bitch out and you put in the sweat equity, suffering is the most important experience anybody can go through to actually become somebody that they're proud of. So I would say that I am a fighter, a very hard worker, a very genuine, loving person. I'm well-rounded. I don't think that I'm clouded by anything that I've done or get too obsessed with a vision or money. I just love life, and I know what I appreciate about life, and I want to be able to do that on a daily basis and share my story.
How many hours a day do you work?
Huh.
And do you ever take a rest day?
The rest day is new. It's like not really a rest day because it's still a day of work. I do work 7 days a week. I probably put in, honestly, 65 to 80 hours, pending how crazy and busy my schedule is. But I'm okay with that. Like, I enjoy it because I don't play video games. I don't, don't go out to the bars. I like to stay focused, and I like to continue to become somebody and have people around me just watch and be like, wow, I'm proud of you. I have a very supporting family. So
you take rest days?
No. Yeah, wait, we bounced off that question. No, I don't take rest days. Okay, but Sunday now, since I've started dating somebody that is fantastic, we do things on Sunday. So, go on dates, take time to breathe and live and experience life. Now, that's something I haven't done in a while, and that has opened up a whole new level of clarity for me. So I do take rest days now, but it's like a partial rest day. I'll still work 7, 8 a.m. to, 12 or 2, and we take our big break, and then I'll shoot some emails out at night. But that's what I like. So if it works for you, then don't fix it.
So what would you title this chapter of your life?
I would say this chapter of my life is transformation, because I went from being unhealthy, not taking care of myself, overworking, a little greedy, to meeting somebody, seeing the true values that life can bring when you are genuinely happy, in love, but crushing business and continuing to work through your goals. And all these are possible at the same time. And being able to navigate through that and watch my business that went from nothing grow to something that I'm like, wow, we're gonna make some noise in Pittsburgh. And being in a relationship that I'm not used to, like, oh my God, you're incredible all the time. You make me happy. Combining those two aspects where, work and love and strong relationships all coexist, it can propel you, and it will propel me in this chapter to be great and to be dangerous. And I'm excited.
I'm happy for you. And the last question I have is, what are you learning to love about yourself?
Wow, wait. So I'm learning to love my organized chaos. We're organizing that chaos progressively better as I go day by day to improve my processes. But me being so hectic and always looking to do more and more and overwhelm myself, I love that about myself because it's always going to bring the next challenge. It's always going to have you meet people that you wouldn't normally meet and accomplish tasks you won't normally accomplish. And just always on that fight and always taking on more craziness. It brings me to the next level, and I love that. And that will not stop until the day I die.
I love that for you. And then I leave room at the end if you want to say anything directly to anyone watching this.
So, directly want to say thank you to my mother because she has made me the man that I am. And I cannot say enough or ever do enough to repay her for all she's done. And proud of my brothers, great guys. And I love you, Gab.
Aw. Thank you, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.